Hey guys, I wanted to come on here real quickly and kind of do a bit of a kind of a basically a follow-up, unscripted, uncut, and on the fly on the thing that I talked about yesterday after work while I was waiting for my ride, and that was what Ben Bates told me on Twitter. Like I said yesterday, Ben Bates decided, well, not yesterday or not 2 days ago, but actually about a couple of days ago, several days ago, about a week or so, something like that. I gotta look it up again. He decided to post a few panels, one page, if you will, or a quarter of a page of from issue 230 of Sonic the Hedgehog, when it was under the Archie Comics license, and it got me thinking because he was talking about the scene where Sally is rescued by Sonic after Sonic's kind of gone through the first Genesis wave, and he's able to go back in time and prevent Sally from being gunned down by that turret gun, not torrent, but turret gun, and blasted into what Ian Flynn once called Swiss cheese. So, long story short, I asked Ben, and I'll look it up right here, right now, so you guys can see it. And I'll probably post this as a thumbnail to help out a little bit. But I asked him, this question, and this question was, it was kind of worded in a way that I should have corrected myself. But this is what I said. I said to Ben Bates, I said yesterday, just a quick question. Did you or Tracy Yardlin, which is at YardlinR on Twitter, or anyone else working on Archie Sonic issue 230 and beyond have any idea of realistically of how long the Mecha Sally arc was going to go on, especially across all comics, I should say, that being of course Sonic Universe and the main comic and stuff like that. So, that's basically what I asked him. And I said, just curious, asking this while, hashtag at stay at home. Basically, when the quarantine, ending whether or not we have essential jobs like I do, and many of us do, I just decided to ask him this out of curiosity. Again, the question I asked, and I'm repeating myself here, the question I asked him yesterday was, did you or Tracy Yardlin or anyone else working on Sonic issue 230, Archie Sonic issue 230, and beyond, have any idea realistically of how long the Mecha Sally arc was going to go on, especially across all comics, which includes Sonic Universe? Just curious, asking this well, hashtag stay at home. And Ben Bates was kind enough to answer me back. He answered me back, and he said this, and I quote, "I had no idea. The way it was sold to me, Mecha Sally and her later form, Neo Sally, would be revealed as advanced Eggman robotics and a sleeper agent. The real," and he puts the word real in all caps, "the real Sally Acorn was in cryostasis, and the next 5-year arc would be Sonic traveling the world to find her." In other words, what he's saying here, what I'm getting from here, is this was part of the original pitch. Because he said this is how it was sold to him. So obviously if he's saying the way the story was sold to him was, from what I'm getting, is this was the original plan at first. Like, this is what Ian wanted to do. And what that tells me is we would have been in for a 5 to 6 year story arc that would have culminated probably around last year or this year, had things gone the way they were supposed to, if not for the fact that Archie Comics and Sega and all of them had to find a way to get around the whole legal situation, behind the scenes legal situation, legations, if you will, when it came to Ken Penders and his characters and stuff, and thus resulting in what was known as the post SGW Sonic Genesis or Sega Genesis World soft reboot retcon. And again, like I said, what I'm getting here is this was part of the original idea. Like the original idea was the Mecha Sally that we see in, in the comics that they're fighting, in her later form, Neo Sally, which would have been, I guess, the Sally with the blades and all that, the soft retcon reboot Sally that became Sally in the post reboot or post soft reboot retcon from 252 and beyond. That those would have been revealed as Eggman Robotics and a sleeper agent. In other words, the Neo Sally, that's the known as the post SGW Sally, would have been a sleeper agent. In other words, a robotic, and that the real Sally was in a cryostasis, and that the next 5 years, which of course it's 12 issues a month, right? So you got to look at 24 over 2 years, 36 over 3, 48 over 4, 72. You're looking at 72 issues, right? So had things gone the way they were supposed to, according to what Ben Bates is saying, we wouldn't have gotten this done until, let's see, when did this start? About 2012 or something like that, 2011, 2012. And it ended around, it was supposed to end, or at least start to end around 250. We would have been going on this for another 72 issues. So you're looking at possibly, if things would have worked out the way they were supposed to, you're looking at issue 412 or 410 as the culmination of this whole story arc, according to what Ben Bates is putting out there. Now, like I said, what I'm getting here, because that's apparently not what we got or would have gotten had things not gone to crap, as some people put it. But what I'm getting is this is what was originally pitched, not just to him, but to a lot of people, including even Sega and those at Archie Comics. So that's what I'm getting. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I know I'm probably not the only one reading this or listening to this that's probably thinking, hey, that does make kind of sense. Because it does. It does make some sense. But yeah, anyway, it's just, it's like, this is the one thing I do appreciate about, being able to communicate with people that used to work on various forms of media that people like me are fans of, that, when it's all said and done, or when there's been enough time, they don't have to worry about an NDA anymore, which is a non-disclosure document or something like that. A non-disclosure document, an NDA. So it allows us to finally get some information as to what was originally planned. Now, I don't know if Ian Flynn, and speedy recovery to Ian, from what I understand, he's going through this, he's trying to recover from the situation we're going through right now. Despite how you might feel about the guy, despite the fact whether or not Ian would have revealed this later on in a chapter or a future installment of Lost Hedgehog Tales on his website, that's totally up in the air. It's totally a guessing point. But my thought process, again, when I look at this, is I think this was the original idea. This was what was one of the original ideas to go with, to really, I guess, make this the magnum opus that Ian wanted it to be. But my guess is when he presented this to not just Ben Bates and Tracy Arlen and all of them, but then later on Sega and Archie Comics together are like, yeah, it's a great idea, but we're not going to go for it. We're not going to allow it to go that long. They basically said, you can roboticize Sally, you can have her become weaponized and all that, but you have to have her back to normal by at least 250, 275. That's what I'm thinking. Was what Archie Comics and Sega told Ian, because the original idea is he wanted to go longer, and apparently what Ben Bates is saying here is this would have gone much longer than originally planned. Like, the original idea was to go up until, I think, last year or this year to close it out. Again, just a theory. Seeing as though the thing did kind of come together around 2013, I should say, in 2014, when we started to get back to normal, if you will, post SGW, if you will, that according to what I'm understanding, this would have gone to at least 2018, 2019, if things had worked out. But again, I think maybe Archie Comics and Sega's like, that's too long. We got too much planned out. We need to have this done before then. And that's why Ian probably opted to conclude it around issues 250 and 300 at the most. So that's just my opinion. But anyway, though, yeah, that's what Ben Bates told me. He said basically he had no idea. He said the way it was sold to him, Mecha Sally and her later form, Neo Sally, would be revealed as advanced Eggman robotics and a sleeper agent. The real Sally Acorn was in cryostasis, and the next 5-year arc would be Sonic traveling the world to find her. So, yeah, that's basically what Ben Bates said it was, how it was sold to him. Because again, like I said, he did the artwork, well, not the complete artwork, but the line art and all that for the for 230, for issue 230, especially the High Sal moment where Sally sees the High Sal on the screen. So that's just from what he told me, because apparently it was supposed to go a lot longer. But then again, you know, I know some people might say, well, they'll just say this and that to get you off the case. I don't really know. I think obviously there's truth to me. There's truth to it. Because Ben Bates had been with the comic for a long time. He's worked with a variety of writers: Ken Penders, Carl Bowlers, Ian Flynn, and he's basically drawn a lot of moments and panels and all that that correspond with what they wrote for the story. So, my opinion, I totally believe him. I think he is a reliable source on this. And that's just really my thoughts. So that's just really my thoughts on it overall. That it's because to me, when I read this, it's like it's just amazing to see what originally was probably planned out from the start. Like, you know how when they work on a movie, when studios work on a movie, writers, producers work on a movie, that, you know, the first draft or the first drawings they give or they present is how they originally envision it, but then the heads up are like, yeah, that's great, but we don't want this because that's not going to work. We want this. You should go this way instead. You know, there you go. I mean, a good example of that to me, right off the top of my mind, is Woody from Toy Story. I mean, originally Woody was, you know, a jerk. He was self-absorbed, a jerk. Originally going to be the villain, from what I understand, in the first Toy Story. You know, and obviously the studio's like, yeah, we like Woody, we like the character, but we don't like him being the villain. We want him to be like the old school guy, like the outsider, like the one that's not willing but has to learn to accept that, hey, it's not bad having other toys around, especially when the person that's been your primary owner still cares about you, still wants to play with you, but they're more focused on having you work together and play alongside this other character. So that's kind of the best example I have, in my opinion. So of things changing from what they originally were planned to be to what they became. But yeah, you know, apparently this, according to Ben Bates, from what it was, he said, from what it was told to him, this was supposed to go on a lot longer, like many years, like basically from when it originally ended with 247, or between 247 and 250. I was just thinking about what I was going to say there, to which was like 212, 213. It was going to continue on into at least 2018, 2019. So, yeah, from 2012 or 2013 to last year or the year before, that's how long apparently this was supposed to go, had things gone that direction. But let me know what you guys think, though. What do you guys think down below? Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. You know, what do you think overall of this information that Ben Bates has given me and basically given the fan base, that the original pitch sold to him, or the way it was sold to him originally, as I said, is Mecha Sally in her later form, Neo Sally, would be revealed as advanced Eggman robotics and a sleeper agent, I should say, and that the real Sally Acorn was in cryostasis, and the next 5-year arc would be Sonic traveling the world to find her. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on it. And I will talk to y'all later. I got to get myself up and going because I do have to work today, 10:30 to 3.